Morning, folks. Thanks for holding off there. I was a little bit delayed here this morning. Just started my first day of vacation, actually. And so I'm going to be running some markets and running through some ideas and checking out the charts with you guys here. I'm probably going to also, as I get the time here, half an hour here, hour there, I'll be posting up some ideas and some trades going into next week, along with some additional commodity analysis. So hopefully you guys can get some value out of that. And I'm going to be pretty quick today. There's not a whole lot happening, to be honest with you. Looking at the markets here today, we're still stuck in this range, and this is what I was saying earlier on in the week. I was hoping for a push after Monday's open had traded up into here. I was looking for a retracement down into Tuesday into this 94.70 level. We didn't quite get it. It did come down, and the low here came in. There's two equal lows right here, which will get swept. But the low came in at 94.80, so it missed it by about 10 pips, and it's just been chopping straight sideways, doing absolutely nothing, going nowhere. So kind of expected that. We're still looking at another 3 weeks of this potentially until the Labor Day weekend, until the institutional order flows start flying off the shelves again and pushing price around. So more than likely, we may get a run higher. I'm looking for a run to 95.40 to run the stops above this old high in here from 2 weeks ago, which I'll give you the exact date here. Right down the bottom of my screen there on the 7th. I'm sorry, on July 19th. So what, 2 weeks ago? I can't even get that. So looking for that. Thought was going to happen already this week. We're now into Thursday, and it doesn't look like Thursday is going to be doing a whole bunch. So what I'll do, I'll just bring up the news. It was a pretty weak news. Let me just go back to Monday, and then I'll show you here. It was a Canadian banking holiday on Monday, but in terms of news, there really wasn't a whole lot going on. There was some Australian dollar news, which I'll go through here in a second. Some medium impact news events for the Canadian dollar on Tuesday and the pound sterling, and then some more Australian news later on Tuesday. But Wednesday, other than crude oil inventories, which I'm going to go through crude here in a minute, it's pretty light. And then even going into today, August 9th, there's not a whole lot here. There's some PPI news, which really didn't do a whole bunch, and some core PPI, and that's been come and gone now for about an hour and a half here already. And so far, markets haven't really seen a whole lot of activity. So here's the hourly. I'll just bring that up so you can see we had a run-up, a failure, and a retracement lower. And I think this level here is probably going to provide some support right in here at 94. Basically, these levels right in here, 94, 95. We shouldn't see price go much lower than that here on the day, I wouldn't imagine. But just what my thoughts are going forward. You see what they've done here, where they have left these lows from back here, these lows right here, straight across the board. Under here, they haven't come down to take those lows here, here, and under here. Those are going to get ran. And so I'm imagining we're probably going to come down. If we break through this consolidation level right here, the next level my eye is going to go to is right down to here to 94.55. Let me just double check that. Basically, these old highs back in here, not quite that low, I don't think, but just to round the numbers off, 94.55 is kind of what I'm looking. So I'd be looking for a sweep under here, and then a run higher, and then that's kind of, I think we're going to come up to the 95.55 level here. So it could be about $1 movement, but this week I'd be surprised if we got it on this week. to be honest with you. With all the news coming out, there's hardly any US dollar. There's some CPI news tomorrow. We could see some action happening there, and then a ton of pound sterling news tomorrow as well. So I don't think we're going to get a ton of action on this week. I hope I'm wrong, but we're not going to see it today. More than likely, we'll probably see some activity tomorrow. So Dave will be on doing a live session, but I'm going to watch the charts here for today and see how things pan out. And this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a sharp move lower down to here, just to run these stops here. I don't know if we'll get all the way down to 94.55. To be quite frankly, I think just a move below these lows right here by 5, maybe 10 pips. That's all I'm looking for. Maybe just a retouch off of these levels here. It may not even get lower than this consolidation level in here. And that's all I'm looking for, and then that sharp move higher. Now, if price decides to start to move up here first, going into tomorrow New York session, then I believe we'll see it take the highs first, and those highs are, I'll just do this here so it'll make your life easier. 94, well, I've got it here, I guess, on that. This is the stop run, so 95.55, that's about a, as you can see here, that's about a 10 pip stop run above these highs right here. So if price starts moving, going into consolidating the Asian session, and then it starts to get some momentum going higher, I'll look for that run into New York, London, and then to finish it off into New York, and then we'll be looking for the price to slide down after that and just basically come up, take the stops, and run back lower. And vice versa, I'll be looking for, if it starts to head lower, I'll be looking for this idea to pan out, and then that move higher. So that's kind of what my thoughts are on the US dollar going forward. Euro USD, let me just get rid of this here, clean up this chart a little bit for you so we can start fresh. So the Euro USD has definitely seen some weakness here into last week, and I was actually surprised it got as low as it did. Still has yet to take out these equal lows here though. Still failed to do that, and it also failed to get underneath this low here as well. You can see that it pretty much created an equal low coming in from on Monday there. If I can get a price to come up on here, low was 115.26, and the low on this guy here from Monday was 115.29, so missed it by about 3 pips. So they're leaving that area there for now. And again, if we get that idea coming and panning out on the US dollar, that move higher into here, we'll probably see the Euro USD drop down and take out this area for sure. I believe these two guys here, and they may even come down if they have enough strength and rip those guys out as well too. So that's what I'm going to be watching for now. But look at this. This is very interesting. Look at all of these levels right above here. And look at those. That is, they've been leaving those for a while. They've been consolidating. That's about that's three trading weeks right there of price action that has failed to go up and run those stops any higher. So they're leaving those for a good reason. I think they're going to come down and they're going to take the stops, and they're going to take all of the sell stops underneath the market. First, they're probably going to do that. I don't know when. Again, they could probably just sit here and consolidate this thing further for another few weeks yet, but they're going to come down. I think they're going to take the sell stops under the market, and then they're going to smash this thing higher and take those guys out up here. So that's what I'm looking for in the euro. But right now, there's not a ton. We saw price running off of this low in here, and so far unwilling to get above it. This candle low in here. Started to trade softer into here, and we're not really doing anything the past 2 days. The price has just been, I mean, look at the range that we're in here. We are in a range low to range high. I'll just take it from these guys here. I mean, this is a 50 pip range in here, so I mean, it's not exciting. There's really nothing much here. on the day, if we see dollar rally a little bit, then we'll probably see the euro come in and fall and stop into this area right in here, which will be 115.60s, somewhere in there. We could see price run down to today if we start losing some of the momentum in here. US dollar, it does seem to be bouncing in here a little bit. I would be looking for a move higher to finish off the day. Same thing on the euro, looking for that move lower down into there. I don't know if we'll get it or not. We may just finish the day off just kind of sitting right in here, or it could even come up and take out these two highs in here that it failed to come up and get any higher into. But I doubt it. I think we'll probably see it move lower on this one. And then the pound, we're going to be seeing a ton of movement on this guy tomorrow. So, honestly, the pound dollar has shown a lot of weakness. And those numbers coming out tomorrow, I wouldn't necessarily be buying into this thing yet. We have created new lows off of these guys under here. Price came down and swept underneath here, and it just has not had any willingness to go higher since. And so I would expect more than likely these lows to get run here going into tomorrow's news and finish up somewhere lower in there. But I don't think I'd be buying this. This is clear bearish trend down, and you know, there may be a slight move higher into let's see if I can get this dialed in a little bit better here. We could see a move higher. You know, I don't even, it'd be very, very subtle, I think, if, let me just tighten this line up here a little bit. We could see a move up to 129.20 going into tomorrow. Basically just a false move higher, then that push lower. If this level gets broken though on the upside, I'd expect them to come up probably and finish up into this level in here. 130.70, 130.80 somewhere. I'll just leave it at 130.80 for now. Not going to get this in one day, obviously, but going into tomorrow, and I want to see how the range sets up going into Asia this evening, and see what that gives us. But all of that news that falls in at we're 4:30 a.m. New York time. So the fireworks will start happening leading up to that event. So I want to see the consolidation pattern that happens during Asia, and then we'll project some levels for you, and basically to be continued is what I'm saying. I'll post some charts. I might even do a quick live session early London Open for this guy, and give you some trade ideas on this one. But I think overall, I think we're going to be going lower, and I believe this level up here, this 129.20, will probably get hit before they want to sink this lower. And then on the downside, as I was saying, I believe that this level down here, I think they'll probably run these lows underneath here, sort of once and for all. The 127.70 level, they'll probably run that one, which is not too far away from now. We're only about 100 pips away from that right now, so the cable can easily do that in a day's range, especially with all of those news events coming in. I mean, we've got GDP news, manufacturing, prelim GDPs, good trades balance, and prelim business investment. So some pretty heavy news events. And then we could see the US dollar sort of cap that move as well too, with the CPI news coming out and just further push it. So we'll see how that sets up. But I don't want to say anything too early. I'd kind of like to see how the range gets put together here going into Asia. So sorry guys,
Call from Jacobson Dunn. Call from Jacobson Dunn.
sorry guys, the phone was ringing there. Anyways, that's kind of what I got for the US dollar, the Euro USD, and pound. Crude oil, I just want to talk about real quickly. We saw a big sell-off due to crude oil inventory numbers here yesterday, and I've been calling this level here the 66.30 level. Been calling it for a while. It finally got tagged yesterday. I was traveling this day, unfortunately. Great time to do it. I was really hoping to capture this move. Unfortunately, I was driving all day long. Wasn't able to do it. But nonetheless, I called this level out back up in here when price was chopping sideways. Let me clean this chart up for you guys. Okay, that's a bit better. So again, this level here, 66.30. It got hit and then some, actually. The low actually came in, I think, at 66. What did it hit? It was just below that, I think. Low came in at 66.24. So again, been calling that low for a very long time. Finally hit it. And you know, I'll be honest with you, just this price structure in here doesn't leave me a lot of confidence that we're going to be super bullish right away. I could be wrong. We could see a nice bounce out of here. At the end of the day, if price clears the middle of this range, so if we go back in here and we look at the kind of highs to the lows of this consolidation level in here, you know what, and I'll just maybe do this, and this is just a very, very I'll refine this a bit here later on, but if price runs through this level right here, if it gets through 68.70, if price pushes up and closes above 68.70, so these candle highs right in here, see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candle high right in there. If price gets and closes above that level, then we're going to shoot up and we're going to probably challenge the highs in here. But right now we've fallen off so far, and we could see further continuation to the downside. There's lots of levels down here that they did not take any stops, and I've identified those before, so that's nothing new. There's levels under here, here, and here. They did one small stop run in here and then bounced price. So really there's a ton of areas for price to fall lower on crude oil, and what I'd be looking for is a move. I'd be looking for a move higher to about 67.80-ish. I'll try and get that on here. I'll be looking for a move up to about 60. Whoops, sorry guys, that was weird. Mouse kind of stuck. I want to see a price trade back up to here, retrace into here, and then I want to see it drop from there. I don't want to see it go any higher than there, and I want to see it come back and re-challenge these lows down here. We're probably going to get a move into that today. So this was a big drop. They cleared out the stops, but I think there's still some further weakness to come in, and they're probably just going to slowly chop it all the way up into here. So there may not be a trade going into for the rest of the week. We'll see how this pans out. Lots of time left on crude oil. The market's just getting warmed up right now. So we could see this thing start to trade higher. You potentially could take a trade off of it right now. And let me just get down to the 15-minute. Let me look at this. If price, I like how it's topping out here and coming down and testing these lows in here. So the idea being, if price doesn't want to get down and come any lower than 66.85, the price, this could be a valid sort of intraday scalp. And I'd be looking for that 67.80 level that I mentioned in here. Whoops, in here. Oh, no, I can't get it. Where was that level? Yeah, 67.80. So about 100 pips away from now. or a dollar movement. That's kind of what I'd be looking at. If that low doesn't get taken out, you could buy anywhere in here, and I'd be looking for that move higher. And as long as price doesn't get below 66.85, it would remain valid, because you see how price came down here, rejected, and so far it's failed to go any lower. If that trend continues, we'll probably continue to chop higher. So that's what I'm looking at for crude oil. I'm going to see how that pans out on the day. But that's just kind of a quick setup. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Aussie dollar definitely showing some strength in here. But what they like to do on Aussie is consolidate this thing. Big consolidation. So I'm not going to be doing anything on Aussie. There's a ton of news that just occurred on Monday for Aussie. Monday and Tuesday for Aussie, and really what did it do? It just kind of been pushing price, splashing price around here, not doing a whole bunch, and not a huge range either. I mean, this was the entire week's range. It was 80 pips, so, you know, nothing too exciting there. So that's about it. Dave will be back tomorrow morning. He's going to be doing a live session again, and he'll be trading S&P and gold, which again, not a whole bunch to speak of on gold. S&P, a different story. As you can see, it's been experiencing a nice rally, and these highs should get taken out here anytime soon. Where it goes from there, I don't know. Dave will talk about that, but he'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. New York time to do a quick live session with you guys and shoot a couple of trade ideas your way. Look at that. I told you Bitcoin was going to collapse again, and look what it's doing. It made that false rally higher, and now it's just shooting lower. I think Bitcoin, guys, if you guys are Bitcoin traders, I think we're going to come in and we're going to go low. See this 5603 level I've got on the chart? I've had that there forever, and this big X sign right here, and I think we're going to be heading for there. May not do it this week, but maybe next week we could see that movement down into there, so just keep that in mind. We're seeing weakness right across the board. Look at that. We just hit a new low on Ethereum yesterday, scooped the lows under here, and Ripple was the only one really that was showing some relative strength, but just the past 3 days it gave that up now, and so far we're testing this old low right here. And then Litecoin just getting crushed as well too, creating new lows, and these lows haven't been seen since November of 2017, so all new lows. Now I'm not saying that this thing is never going to go higher or anything like that. It could be a good opportunity to buy it, but you got to wait for price to bottom out and create that false move lower, and then that's when you get long. You don't just hope this thing's going to turn around and go long and start, you know, buying in here or anything like that, because I think there's much further downside on these crypto markets yet. So that's it for now, guys. That one idea on crude oil, I think, could pan out nicely here today for an interim, and not long term. I mean, for the next about 2-3 hours. I would suggest watching that one and see if that one pans out. And I think we could have a good setup going into cable this evening, so I will post some charts on that. If I see a good setup, I'll just jump on live and maybe do a quick live London Open session with you guys. But other than that, I think that's going to be a wrap for the day. So thanks very much, and we'll catch up to you guys a little bit later.